Moyen, hello. I am Clara Moraru, President of the Independent Workers Union in Luxembourg. And I would like to welcome you to my new series, Let's Demystify the Independent Work in Luxembourg. In this series, we will be exploring the world of the independent workers or the self-employed, and we will be shedding light on some of the myths regarding the independent work. Let's dive in. Myth number one, independent workers' fees are too high. The reality is that independent workers have to set their fees higher in order to cover the cost of running their own business, the taxes, and social security. While some may view their fees as too high, it is really important to understand that independent workers have to bear an additional financial burden just to be able to provide their services. And I'll give you an example with an independent worker who, let's assume, is invoicing you 100 euros per hour for his services. Okay, so your provider, the independent worker, is invoicing you 100 euros for services, let's say, communication or working on your website. So it's 100 euros per hour. Now, to understand what is the independent worker left with, you have to actually think to everything that he's actually making the entire year. So it's not really something super easy to say for that amount it will be exactly this amount, because it depends on the tax class of the person. So this example that we are taking today will be for a single person, and we will have different scenarios. So one scenario when the person is only making 20,000 euros per year. An example where the person is making 35,000 euros per year, and an example when the independent worker is making 50,000 euros per year. It is important to understand because based on these calculations and based on these amounts, the independent worker will have to pay an additional 17%, which is the VAT, which means, for example, you can look here. So the first column. So you can see that the person is invoicing you 100 euros, and he's making 20,000 euros per year. In this case, there is no VAT to be paid because it's an amount lower than 35,000. So there is no VAT to be paid. The Social Security will cost this person 7,469.07, and then he's left with 12,530.93. There is no tax to be paid because this is lower than the social, the minimum average salary. So there is no tax to be paid. And so what is left to the person net is 12,530.93. This means that from the 100 euros that the person has invoiced you, he is left with 62.65 euros. But this is in the case that the person only makes 20 euros per year. Okay? So now we have a second scenario where the person makes per year 35,000 euros, yeah? So again, this is a very low salary compared to the average salary. So you have to understand, if the person is invoicing you 100 euros, so again, there is no VAT to be paid yet, because one has to start paying VAT only after he or she makes 35,000 euros per year. The Social Security will cost this person 8,473.50. Then you have taxes, which are calculated here. So taxes will be 1,610. And then the person is left from 35,000 per year with 24,916.50, which means that from 100 euros that the person has invoiced you, he or she is left with 71.19 euros. Okay? Now, the third scenario, when the person makes 50,000 euros per year, which is again not extremely high as one may think. So the person has to start already to pay VAT, which is 17%. So from this amount, he or she has to pay 7,264.96. Then Social Security is 10,346.15. So he's left with 32,388.89. Then you have taxes, which are 2,791 in this case, and the person is left in his pocket with 29,597.89, which means that from the 100 euros that he or she has invoiced you, he or she is left with 59.20 euros. So is that a high fee? Now you have to think about all this and really understand the complication and the complexity of the situation. So from 100 euro that an independent worker is invoicing you, normally the chance is that he or she will be left with about 50 euros. So this is a good calculation if you are an independent worker and are watching this. You have to really take into account that at a certain moment, if you want to leave from your work, you will have to pay VAT. So the VAT is when you make more than 35,000 euros, which is actually the minimum salary in Luxembourg, which means that 17% from everything you make has to go to VAT. Yeah, a lot of clients don't think about that. But you have to think about that, because if you invoice your clients for 3 years, for example, for making, for putting gel on whatever, if you are invoicing them 100 euros, let's say, and then after a few years, you start making more than 35,000, this means that from your 100 euros in the past, you are left with 71 euros, but then suddenly you are only left with 59 euros. So if you have other costs of marketing, of a system to, reservation system, you really have to think that you will have to start paying the VAT. And very often clients don't accept that you add this 17% on top of your fee just because you started to make more during the year. So it's a very complex situation, and I hope this helps everyone. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of the independent work in Luxembourg. I hope this series is providing valuable insights and inspiration for those considering or already pursuing a career as an independent worker in Luxembourg. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for updates. Until next time, bye-bye.